You're likely familiar with the Exodus story of how God led the Hebrew slaves out of Egyptian captivity to the Promised Land. After this epic sequence of plagues by which God liberated the slaves from the tyranny of Pharaoh, God reveals a plot twist in Exodus 13, verse 17, where he literally says that though there was a quicker, more direct route to the Promised Land, he purposely led the people of Israel through the wilderness to prevent them from surrendering and running back to Egypt. He wanted to teach them about faith before they could walk into their destiny. So a ragtag organization comprised of inexperienced travelers, millions of refugees, and a reluctant 80-year-old Moses is being led by God to a dead end. They're boxed in by mountains, a sea, and this advancing Egyptian army coming after them. He doesn't just bring them to the Red Sea and then part it immediately. He could have. He instead has them camp there, evaluating their complete lack of options and the weight of an impossible situation for 8 days. 8 days! Then, just as an army is closing in on them, God miraculously divides the sea. The people of Israel safely cross on dry ground, and they look back to see God close the sea and completely dash their enemy as they attempt to follow after them. The gravity of the story is more than just that they experienced deliverance, but it was in how God led them there and through there. It was not a mistake or a navigational error that their journey from Egypt led to a dead end. God says in chapter 14, He did this to get glory, so that they would know He was the Lord, and to prepare their faith for the challenges ahead. So many times we can be discouraged, like the Hebrew people, when following a vision leads us to a dead end of seemingly impossible circumstances. And just like them, we can look around and see no plausible way out. In Matthew 19, Jesus was talking about living by faith, being sold out, not letting anything hold you back. And His disciples were feeling discouraged by just how radical it all sounded. And they confronted Jesus and they said, geez, who can do that, really? And Jesus responded, with man, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. Our weaknesses are not deficiencies in God's economy. It's okay to say that we can't, doesn't mean that He won't. Oftentimes, these deficiencies in our life or circumstances are there by design. And when faced with circumstances or objectives or requirements that are seemingly impossible to overcome, that is where God can then display His greatest power and providence. God led His people to a place of utter impossibility because He loved them and delighted in meeting them there to teach them about Himself. The question we must ask ourselves is, how will we respond when we're faced with similar circumstances?